Nicole had already ended her relationship with her ex-boyfriend, a detainee, but she went to the detention center to ensure she had never cheated on him. Unfortunately, Nicole did not survive the encounter. However, many women who are partners of criminals face serious consequences if they are caught cheating on their partners. An example of this is the case of a woman who was not identified but had her head shaved after being accused of cheating on her partner, a drug dealer. A woman was severely punished for having cheated on the drug dealer she was with. In 2022, she was forced to go through a public humiliation where the punishment involved cutting her hair. Two men linked to the drug dealer carried out this punishment. The woman, quiet and crying, kept her head down, trying to hide her shame. One of the men began to cut her blonde hair with sharp scissors, but in a completely crooked and careless way. The goal was not to make a pretty or well-done cut, but rather to humiliate the woman, leaving her hair ugly and without any care. The intention was clear, to show how vulnerable she was and that she had no power to react. After cutting off the excess hair, the other man turned on a hair clipper and shaved off the remaining strands, leaving the woman totally bald. The whole process lasted about 7.5 minutes, but it was enough to show who was in control and to reinforce the punishment.
Tira a mão, na moral.
Nowadays, her hair has probably grown back, but what happened that day certainly marked her in a way that is hard to forget. The haircut was a cruel punishment, showing who was in charge and that betrayal would not be accepted. The situation of a 20-year-old young man named Paulo Cesar Sampaio Goncalves gained great repercussion in 2021 after he lost his life at the hands of members of a criminal faction. He was captured and taken to a crime tribunal after being caught with the wife of a faction member, which was considered an unforgivable betrayal. The episode happened in the residential Orgulho do Madeira in Porto Velho, Brazil. The woman with whom Paulo Cesar was having a romantic encounter with him in the apartment when they were surprised by members of the Comando Vermelho. They discovered that she had been married to a detainee linked to the faction, which made her relationship with Paulo Cesar a serious betrayal. In the criminal underworld, the punishment for betrayal is extreme, and the victim faced a fatal sentence.
Olha aí, ó. Mulher do irmão nosso aí, na safadeza aqui, ó. Tá aí o 100% aí.
The young woman, named Rafaela, upon noticing the arrival of the criminals, managed to escape but ended up hurting herself and was taken to the hospital. Paulo Cesar, however, was not so lucky. He was taken by faction members to be judged and sentenced to the maximum penalty. During his capture, Paulo Cesar's mother recorded a video asking for help, desperate for news about her son. She feared the worst but did not know what had really happened. A viral video shows a girl sitting on the edge of a bed, while another young woman standing points her finger at her and seems to speak aggressively. The girl on the bed was involved with the husband of the other one, who was married to a drug dealer. The criminal's wife, upon discovering the betrayal, went to the location accompanied by two friends to settle the situation. What started as a conversation soon turned into a physical confrontation. The wife attacked the mistress with violence and strong words. The fight was filmed by one of the friends and quickly spread on social media. The mistress was at the mercy of the aggression and tried to defend herself without much success. In communities where drug trafficking dominates, women often fear confronting their bandit husbands, as they can be violent or retaliate. Therefore, they prefer to fight with the mistresses, who are seen as the intruder, thinking that facing the rival is safer. After the husband, who was a drug dealer, got involved with another woman, the wife decided to get revenge by also cheating on him. In retaliation, the husband, aiming to humiliate her, filmed the woman kneeling on the dirt ground, surrounded by him and other people. He begins to interrogate her aggressively, wanting to know all the details of the betrayal without showing any compassion. The dealer asks about the reason for the infidelity, while the wife, visibly scared and crying, tries to explain that she got involved with another man in the month of January as a form of revenge because he had cheated on her with another woman the previous month. Despite clearly being afraid and not reacting aggressively, the woman answers the questions and does not try to defend herself.
Fala tudo que aconteceu. Conta a história. Até onde foi? Conta aí.
Eu fiz em janeiro, porque em dezembro você me traiu.
She is surrounded by him and the others present, who maintain a cold and relentless attitude. After the interrogation, the woman is punished. The humiliation was recorded and shared, spreading the situation on social media, which increased the impact. In communities, women's betrayal is often seen as a major offense, especially if it involves another partner. Male betrayal, on the other hand, can be more tolerated, being seen as common behavior in many cases. In Campinas, in the interior region of São Paulo, Brazil, a 21-year-old woman was held in private captivity for 24 hours. During that time, she was a victim of psychological abuse and exposed to a violent situation by a man and 3 women. The reason for the incident was supposedly a betrayal she committed with the husband of one of the attackers, who was a drug dealer. In 2019, during the captivity, the victim was filmed, and the images, along with videos, were shared on social media, exposing the situation. She had her head shaved and was subjected to various insults and threats. The victim's mother, upon seeing what was happening through a messaging app, immediately contacted the police in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Thanks to the quick action of the authorities, the young woman was freed by the police of São Paulo on the same day. After being rescued, she decided to move to another state for safety reasons, as she feared for her life. In December of 2021, a video circulated on social media showing a woman being physically confronted by a friend after a series of accusations involving betrayal. The incident took place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and the recording, which lasts more than 4 minutes, shows the betrayed woman repeatedly striking her husband's mistress. The recording was made by a third person, who can be heard encouraging the attacker to continue behaving in that way with the victim. In the video, the attacker demands that the friend admit to the relationship with her husband, identified as Fabricio Gordinho, questioning her insistently. The victim denies the accusations, stating that she did not have an involvement with the man. Probably there are people linked to drug distribution involved in the incident. That is because, according to the man who was recording, the attacker was supposed to settle the score with her rival. He was there as an authority figure because other people gave him that power in the situation, like a court leader, a typical scenario among individuals involved in the illegal drug trade. In a video that circulated on social media, a woman identified as Mayara is seen sitting on the floor while someone cuts her hair. During the interrogation, she confesses that she cheated on her partner and stole his money, then fled afterwards. Throughout the recording, the woman, visibly distressed, cries while answering the same questions repeatedly.
Por que tá acontecendo isso com você? Que tava cuidando de você e dos seus filhos, né?
At the end of the recording, she appears with half of her head shaved. The man who is filming also says that she cheated and stole from the bandit who was taking care of her and her children. The case happened in 2016 and the video was posted on the internet, becoming public and humiliating for Mayara. Accused of making negative comments about a community member, a woman was severely treated by a drug dealer. The man handled the case in a very aggressive way, while the woman tried to defend herself. During the incident, part of her hair was shaved off, a common practice in some situations to punish behaviors considered improper. The episode happened in the Rio do Ouro community in São Gonçalo, in the state of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The scene was recorded by a young man present who claimed he filmed the act as part of a justice he believed necessary. The man filming did not identify himself as a faction member, but the situation clearly involved a local power dynamic. Later, during a police operation, the young man was apprehended by the authorities and admitted to having participated in the incident and filmed the scene to document the act. In the Mangueira community, in the north zone of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, a woman was caught with another man in an intimate moment. Upon realizing the betrayal, the husband, who according to reports is a drug dealer in the area, reacted with extreme anger. The situation quickly escalated, with physical and verbal conflicts involving the woman and the lover. The scene of violence rapidly increased in intensity. The woman and the lover, after being harshly reprimanded, had to be taken to the hospital Salgado Filho in the Meyer neighborhood to receive medical attention. Nicole, a 22-year-old young woman, tragically passed away in 2019 inside the Provisional Detention Center, CDP, of Jundiaí, in the state of São Paulo, Brazil, during a visit to her ex-partner, Nicole, who was serving time for robbery. She used to visit him regularly, and on social media she shared her feelings of missing him. However, after a while, the couple separated, and Nicole began to suspect that Nicole might have betrayed him. In an attempt to clear his doubts, Nicole decided to go to the CDP to talk to Nicole, never imagining that this would be her last encounter. During the visit, they were left alone, and the situation ended tragically. Nicole was treated harshly by Nicole and taken to the hospital, but unfortunately did not survive. After Nicole lost her life, investigations indicated that she had been injured in the head. Nicole had shared a New Year's message on social media, expressing affection for Nicole and mentioning that he encouraged her to have fun. Nicole was indicted for the fatal incident involving Nicole. After being involved in a cheating situation, a woman was severely punished in 2021. Taking the matter to a crime tribunal, the faction leader ordered his accomplices to punish her. The punishment, which became even harsher due to the betrayal, included shaving off her hair, while she denied the infidelity accusations. The betrayal was with other criminals, which increased the seriousness of the situation. The episode occurred in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and gained significant attention on social media. Embarrassed, the woman started wearing a wig after the incident. As a side note, the crime tribunal is a kind of trial carried out by criminal factions, where the organization's members decide on punishments for those who break the group's rules. These decisions occur outside the law, often involving violent punishments. In Cuiabá, in 2020, a woman was severely dealt with by other residents of a community known as Cohab after being accused of becoming involved with the husband of one of the attackers. The incident, which gained widespread attention on social media, was filmed by a local resident and shows the victim being publicly humiliated. The video shows that in addition to verbal aggression, the woman had her hair shaved as a form of punishment. In the footage, you can hear the insults directed at the victim, who was called a talarica and pedepano, terms used to describe a woman who has betrayed another. During the situation, the woman even tried to threaten to call the police, but was discouraged by the man filming, who threatened her. One man even brought a brush cutter to the place where everything happened, joking that he would cut the victim's hair with that tool.
Não é pra matar a mulher, gente. Já veio a voz lá de cima da cadeia lá, entendeu? Pé de pano, talarica.
The incident took place in an area dominated by the Comando Vermelho, a criminal faction, and it caused a wave of outrage on social media due to the cruelty of the situation and the apparent normalization of justice carried out by factions instead of by the police.
Para com isso, gente.
Andar com homem casado.
The faction, founded in the city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on the 28th of August of 1979, has a strong presence in various regions of Brazil. The organization exerts control in many communities and favelas, being one of the most well-known in the country. Do not forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.